Hello everybody and welcome back to the Fintech Times. We are here at day 3 of Sibos 2022, which is being held in wonderful Amsterdam. We're very, very happy to be here, and I'm over the moon to be joined today by Kara Cummins of Brilliance. Kara, how are you?
Hello, I'm very good, very good.
Good, thank you. Well, you flew in from Australia to be here today, right?
I did. I flew in Monday morning,
Right.
so survived Monday very jet lagged,
Yes.
but it was good. Day 3, we're feeling good.
Yeah, that's really fantastic. And what are you making of Cybus so far?
It's been great. I think for me, my focus is on ESG and banking. So it's been the hot topic of the week, I think. So met some really interesting people, banks, partners, heard some really interesting topics around ESG especially. So it's been really good.
Fantastic. Well, we've got a very interesting conversation lined up on everything in ESG and finance. But before we get on to that, why don't you give our viewers a little bit of an insight into who you are and your position at Brilliance?
Yeah, sure. So Brilliance, we are a Fintech that focuses on pricing profitability solutions. So working with banks on pricing up their loans, anything really from retail and above. But about 7 years ago, one of our major clients, a bank in Australia, what they were seeing is this big a need to do ESG and incorporate it into their workflows, incorporate it into their lending. And so from that grew our first product on ESG. Now, since then, I've come on to be a product owner for our what we call a DPXESG solution. So really, we're working with banks globally now on delivering that solution. To make it part of their pricing, their pricing workflows.
Fantastic. Well, yes, moving on to our conversation. We mentioned ESG, environmental and social governance. It is a massive topic in banking at the moment, and especially in even the theme of Cybus is progressive finance for a changing world. Why do you think that banks have almost suddenly woken up to ESG and sustainability? Why has it become such a key focus point for them?
Well, I mean, look around. We're in Amsterdam, and I think everywhere you see is a green sign saying, this is sustainable and this thing is carbon neutral. I think it's reflective of the world that we're living in now. So with banks, I think they have been almost a little bit late to the show, but we're really seeing that urgency, I think, ever since COP26. We've really seen things pick up quite quickly. Now, for us, we're seeing 2 major things. I think there's regulation, which is coming out again, especially since COP, and then we're also seeing that huge reputational hit for banks, and so they're really trying to align their portfolios to something to companies, to things that are ESG positive. Due to that. So I think regulation and reputation really are the major things there.
I think, Kara, you'd be pretty hard pressed to find a bank that isn't interested in ESG and doesn't want to do good. Do you know what I mean? I think it's on the consciousness of so many here, but the road to being a good bank doing good things for the community isn't always straight sailing, unfortunately. And why do you think that is? What kind of challenges are these banks incurring on their mission to do good?
I mean, it's huge, isn't it? These are huge institutions. There's a lot of different players there. They're, complex systems. Everybody, I think they do want to be good. They see the value in focusing on ESG, but operationalizing that is a huge challenge. You have existing clients as well, where you've got those existing relationships, and when you mix ESG into the picture, how do you have those conversations? How do you, where do you draw the line on who you will and won't work with? So for us, we're seeing a few different challenges. It's that operationalizing and putting ESG into existing, workflows, into existing conversations with partners. We're also seeing, the incentives. How do you incentivize whether it's relationship managers, to have those conversations when, historically they've really just been looking at profit. And then a last one I'd say is around data. We have a huge ESG data gap. There's plenty up and coming, but the lack of standards, globally on ESG reporting, ratings, really makes it hard to understand exactly where the ESG performance of your clients. Especially for the middle market. So there's a lot of ESG data for, the big guys, but when you're looking at the small to medium enterprises, then it is hit and miss.
You've raised a really important point there in the rising importance of data and being able to apply data to achieve what you want and to achieve ESG. And I think it's very difficult to overstate the importance of data in the financial industry. I think that this journey to ESG is something that's important for banks as well as many other businesses in lots of other sectors. And as I mentioned before, that you'd be pretty hard pressed to find somebody that didn't want to engage in good practices. But where do you see the pressures to achieve ESG coming from on the banks?
Look, essentially it is the regulators that are driving real action on this. So what we've seen from our clients is there are these new requirements, whether it's data that needs to be captured or whether it's risks that need to be accounted for. And so for them, it was, where is the best spot in the journey of dealing with the client to ask these questions and to get this data, and what they found it is really at that deal structuring step. There's nothing like when a company needs money from you to be able to go and ask the hard questions. So they have every incentive to do so. So for them, it really made sense to, you're having these relationship managers, they're already having these conversations with clients, and especially in a world where data isn't, available completely, then that is the point that best makes sense to ask these questions. And then you're not doing it after the fact once the money's already been given, but actually the data that you're collecting and the assessments that you're doing can then go and influence, the structuring of the deal, whether it's the pricing, whether it's what products are available to them. So it is where we're seeing it most makes sense in the journey. And our product is obviously doing that as a result.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you very much for this conversation, Kara Cummins from Brilliance. Really, really insightful insight into the current environment for ESG in banking. So thank you for that, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of Sibos.
Thank you, I will.
Thank you.